Well, hello, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back. Jiu-Jitsu 2000 here today. I'm back. You're probably wondering why I don't have much clothes on. I'm going to start my 5-day, $5 solo survival experience. I've taken $5. I went to a local Dollar Tree and I purchased 5 items for $5 for me to live for 5 days. I'm gonna jump on the scale right now in just my shorts, no shoes, fully hydrated on day one. We're gonna see what my weigh-in weight is, and at the end of this challenge we're gonna step on the scale again and see what I'm looking like after 5 days. 188.8. Let me try it again. 188.8, and let's do it a third time for good measure. 189.0. So I'll take the 188.8. I'll write that down, and here's what that looks like. 188.8. 188.8. So that's what my body looks like. In my bag I have a lot of provisions to survive that will not be used in this challenge, in this experience. I have food, I have water, I have an extra pot, fuel, a stove, clothing, bedroll, shelter, fire making, first aid, paracord, you name it, I have it in this bag. Now the rule of this bag is the same rule that it's always been, and that is if I get into this bag, I will share it on camera. Inside of this bag, there are 2 small 5-liter dry bags. Those 2 bags contain the items that I will use in this challenge. And I will show you those items when I get to a spot where I feel is going to be a good place to set up. Now I'm walking in a riverbed right now, and as you can see, this riverbed is fairly dry. I was hoping to have flowing water, but I'm not seeing that, and I'm a little frustrated about that because water is crucial for survival. I'm actually kind of surprised that there's no flowing water out here. Slip and fall. Crazy. So it looks like I have some water here and there, so that's good. It's not flowing, but at least I have something to stay hydrated with. And hydration on this challenge is crucial because temperatures are supposed to climb throughout the week, and by Friday we're going to be in the high 90s, if not the triple digits. So hydration is going to be a big thing in this challenge. That's what I'm going to be drinking. It doesn't look very pleasant. It's stagnant type water, but it is what it is. This is a survival challenge. Looking right there, I see some tracks. They're a little bit old, but it kind of looks like maybe a porcupine. I'm not quite sure, but I'll be definitely keeping out an eye for that guy. I'm not quite sure what kind of animal that is. I think I found a good area where I can hunker down, and it's behind you. There's some nice cottonwood trees over there. Right there, those guys. I think that's where I'm headed. This might be a good spot. with the temperatures rising throughout the week, I think that being in the shade will play a good part. You know, I think that's going to help out quite a bit. Being in the shade is going to be a good thing. So that's where I'm headed. This looks like a pretty good spot. I like it. Yeah, I think this will do. This is gonna be my place for the next 5 days, and I'm excited about it. The stuff that I will use in this video is contained in these 2 dry bags. This is the stuff I'm going to use to survive for 5 days. Okay, let me show you the 2 bags and show you what items are in these 2 bags. There's one exception. There's one item that didn't fit in this bag that is included. It was a larger item, so I had to put it in my pack. So the first item was this. This was cranberry juice. This is 46 fluid ounces, and this has a total of 6 servings per container. So they're 8-ounce servings, and each serving is 130 calories. So I felt that this was a good item to bring on this challenge. Again, all this stuff that's in this blue bag was purchased at Dollar Tree. Here's a copy of my receipt. As you can see, it was exactly $5. Now the last item that you see here, it says Snickers, but I traded the Snickers in for a single bottle of Gatorade, 32 ounces. These were also $1. So even though the receipt says Snickers, Snickers are at home with the kids, and I swapped it out for this. It was the same price. So that's my second item. My third item was 1 pound of pinto beans. Now my pinto beans has about 10 servings in this bag. If you consider each serving 1/4 of a cup dry, you can get 170 calories per serving. So beans are very good, they're cheap, and they do a lot for you. They also have protein here. I was looking at it earlier. Where was that? Total fat 1%, saturated fat 0, cholesterol 0, sodium 0, carbohydrates 11%, dietary fiber 27%, protein 10 grams. So the beans, that's my third item. Fourth item was 2 pounds of white rice. Now it says that there's 20 servings in this package, and they're also 1/4 of a cup servings. Each serving is 154 calories. So that's pretty crazy. Total fat 0, saturated fat 0, trans fat 0, cholesterol 0, sodium 0. Carbohydrates 13% or 36 grams. Dietary fiber 1 gram. Sugar 0. Protein 3 grams. So rice is a good staple. It's cheap also, just like the beans. And the last item that I had was beef top ramen. There are 5 packs in here. 5 days, 5 packs of ramen. So that right there is what I spent my $5 on at the Dollar Tree. So that's the end of this bag. There's nothing left in this bag. That's what I'm going to be surviving on. And to get the party started right off the bat, I'm going to go ahead and take a drink of this Gatorade. if you look at the nutritional facts of Gatorade, 2.5 servings per container, 12 ounces a serving size. But this is a 32-ounce bottle. And it says per container, if I was to drink this whole thing, 220 calories, 0 fat, 19% sodium, carbs 21%, sugars 110%. And it has 0 protein, but it does have 120 milligrams of potassium. So this is good. I thought I heard a hummingbird. Yep, there he goes. So the next bag is the 5 C's basically. 5 days, $5, 5 C's. So my first item is my cutting tool. I have 2 of them. I have a Baco Laplander saw, and I have a Condor pterosaur knife. That's my first cutting tool. So this is my first item that I'm going to be using for this challenge. On the side of my Baco, you can see that I have a bow drill divot that I've drilled. I use that for friction fire. So that's my first tool. Second one, cover. This is 2 mil drop cloth. This is a used drop cloth. This is 9 foot by 12 foot. It's got paint on it, it's got epoxy on it, but it's 2 mil thick. It's got a little bit of holes in it, dings and rips and stuff, but this is what I chose for this challenge. Third item, again in no particular order, cordage. This is tarred bank line. This is not number 36. This is like number 18 or number 15. It's very light, very thin. But I figured that this would be a good item for this challenge because I have a lot of it here. I did bring a light my fire eating tool. Not really included as an item, but I brought that. And the last one is my container. And in the container, this has my combustion devices. So I have a solar Fresnel lens, and I also have the lightning strike here. So two forms of combustion. So cutting tool, combustion, cover, container, cordage. I have a candling device here. This is the Olight H1R. Cotton bandanas. And I have a shema. This is a 1 liter pot. It has a little bowl that fits in there, and it has a lid. This is the zebra pot. So these items that you see right here is everything that I will be using in this video. That's it. I'm reading the nutrition facts of the ramen, and it says serving size 1 package. Okay, so each package contains 380 calories. Total fat 18% or 14 grams, saturated fat 7 grams or 33%, trans fat 0, no cholesterol, sodium 58%. That's probably in those bouillon packets. That's 1,330 milligrams. Total carbohydrates 54 grams or 20%, dietary fiber 2 grams or 6%, protein 9 grams. So that's pretty cool. And there's actually iron in here, 3.4 milligrams of iron, 20%. And also potassium, 170 milligrams, 4%. So that's what I'm going to get out of the beef ramen. Pretty crazy. So now it's time to take a look and see where I want to put my site. Where do I want to put my shelter? I want to make sure that there's no widowmakers. I want to be protected from the wind. I want to have a water source. So I'm going to kind of scout this area out and see where the best spot would be. I honestly think that it's right here where I'm at. So with water being such a crucial thing in this challenge, being in the Southwest and with temperatures rising, in my opinion, at this point, water is more important than shelter. I have plenty of coverage in those cottonwood trees, but hydration's a big factor. So I'm taking both of these 5-liter dry bags and I'm going for a little hike in hopes that I can find some better source water. I went down a little embankment kind of like this, and with these shoes on, this mud is really slippery. And I slipped and fell right to my butt. Got mud on my butt. So I want to ask you guys, please hit that thumb up button, because I'm out here earning this for real, for you guys' entertainment. Please share the video, make it worth my while. But I'm still walking. I did find one source of water that was a larger pool, which looked promising, because a larger body of water, even though it was still nasty, it was more diluted, so it was less nasty than the water that was by my camp. Haven't found nothing yet. Still bone dry as far as I can see. Who knows, maybe I'll get lucky though. Well, I just got back from my recon. I went about 2 miles. I did find a much better water source. The water was a lot cleaner, it was flowing, it didn't have any odor. It looked like good water. Probably gonna taste a lot better. So that leaves me to some thinking. Now, I would have documented that water, but my battery died on my camera and I wasn't able to put another battery in until I got back here. We're on day 1 of a 5-day challenge, a 5-day simulated survival situation. Do I want to expend calories to travel, you know, to move, to get a better water source and lose this wooded canopy, or do I stay put? So that leaves me something to think about. Here in the Southwest, as these days into this challenge go further towards Friday, it's going to get hotter every day. The importance of a wooded canopy and being in shade, I feel, is going to be an important thing. Now, let me be brutally honest with you about 2 things. Number 1, when it comes to water and it comes to survival, odor and taste of the water is not a necessity. That's a luxury. When you have good tasting clear water, that's a luxury. It's not a necessity to survival. And number 2, in my pack, in my emergency gear, I have a bee-free water filter. That is a hollow fiber membrane that will remove all the particulars out of that water, making it safe to drink. But it doesn't remove odor, it doesn't remove taste, it just makes it safe. So in a nutshell, it kind of does the same thing as just boiling the nasty water. You're still going to have odor, you're still going to have taste that's going to be unpleasant. But to keep you alive, again, that is a luxury. So do I pack and go, or do I stay put? Now, I've made my decision. It's very simple. I'm going to stay put for a couple of reasons. I have cottonwood trees here. Even though I have a lightning strike in there, a very easy way to make fire, this survival challenge, I would like to attempt friction fire. I won't be able to do that if I expend the calories and move. I'll be more tired when I get there because I'm carrying a heavy pack with all kinds of gear, and I would lose the ability to potentially make friction fire unless I take a set, you know, and some materials before I go. But I'm going to stay here. I'm going to attempt to make a friction fire. My goal is to go down to the source and maybe expend a little bit of calories to dig next to the water source, maybe 6 to 10 feet away, in hopes that that water will seep in like an Egyptian well or a coyote well, and the earth will help reduce some of that odor, some of that taste, and then that water that I extract can be boiled and then taste a little bit better than the water that it came from. So that's my decision. So the next order of business for me is to find materials that are everywhere here to make friction fire. I'm not worried about a shelter right now because my plastic can go into a plow point. There's plenty of trees and stuff that I can tie off to, and that shelter could go up in 5 minutes. I'm not at risk of any kind of rain or anything like that. The temperatures are going to be in the 40s tonight, so that gives me the option of putting fire higher on the priority list. Because I went on that hike, that recon, I am a little bit thirsty, so I'm going to get fire so that I can purify water. I found a couple things here on the floor, on the ground. I found this piece of salt cedar that I had cut probably a year or two ago, and this will be a good baton. I also found a piece of cottonwood that I think I can make a good hearth out of without doing a lot of work. And up behind me, up here, there's a branch sticking up that I think will make a good drill. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that and get working on this set. So I want to do a friction fire with a different kind of method, and the method that I want to use a weighted object, something like this. So I want to put the hearth next to a tree, kind of dig a little trench maybe, and have something like this going on. But what I need is to keep the tree, the weighted object, close to the tree. So I've cut this little wedge here that I'm going to drive into the ground against this piece so that it will keep this thing going down right here, and it'll keep everything nice and tight. So I'm just driving this down. Something like this. And then I have a small piece of string right here that I'm going to use to shore this up so that this piece can't get out of this area. Okay, so I'm going to shore this up, and I don't want it to be so tight where this thing can't fall freely. I want it to be able to fall nice and easy, which I believe I have that here. This thing will fall. So I want it to sit on my drill. So let me go ahead and tie this up real quick. Something like that. Just using a square knot here on the back side. And how does that look? Looks pretty good. It gives it a little bit of play, but not too much. Cottonwood bark, inner bark, is really good tinder material. And I have a nice tinder bundle already. And it didn't take me much. It's already pretty well self-made. So that's the beauty of it. Inner cottonwood bark. This stuff right here. That stuff is good, good, good. So I'm pulling that out, getting my set ready. All my components, my smalls, my set. This is going to work very, very good. That's good stuff right there. Look at all those fibers. So I'll drop my ember right in there and we'll be good to go. there you have it. There's your ember. Nice ember. Yay, I have fire. I'm happy. Took a little bit of work to get that to happen. But I'm very happy about that. I'm happy. I got fire on night number 1 on day 1. Yes. That's a beautiful feeling. I'm so happy because this took a little bit of work and a little bit of effort. But hard work pays off. That string is awfully thin and I didn't think it would work, but it worked like a champ. Worked really good. I'm so happy right now. There's a little bit. Now I can get some hydration going on. I'm not worried about digging a coyote well just yet. I'm more worried about getting hydrated. And the pool that I got the water from just now doesn't look all that bad. Time to get some water purifying. I'm thirsty. This water doesn't look too bad from the source that I got it at. We'll see what happens. This pot is about 1 liter, so I'll have to drink at least 3 of those per day to stay fully hydrated. Yeah, it stinks a little bit, but it is what it is. Thank goodness for these dry bags. Makes it easy to bring water. Then I don't have to go there all the time. Yeah, it's not that far anyway, but still makes it convenient because I can store the water at camp. So as I wait for my water to come to a boil, which I'm very patient about, I'm going to take a walk and try to get some tent stakes so that I can put my shelter up. So the wood that I'm going to use is tamarack or salt cedar. It's a really good wood. It's pretty straight and it's a hardwood. I don't need anything real thick. I think this will make 3 perfect tent stakes. In this area, these things grow like weeds, literally. So I'm going to cut this at an angle. That'll give me a nice little angle to drive that guy in. And then it'll also give the next stake an angle. And then over here, on this piece, I'll do like a little 7-notch. Something that I can tie into. Just something like that. Nothing too crazy, it's pretty simple. Just homemade stakes. Something sharp that'll go in the ground and something that I can tie off to. That's all I need. Nothing crazy. So I figure I'll get 3 of these guys, make a mark here where I need to cut. Well, that looks like a rolling boil to me. That water is ready to go. Now I let it cool and I can hydrate. Okay, let me show you how I'm doing these corners. So, first thing I'm doing is I'm clearing the area, taking my string, and on the end here where the 2 pieces are, I'm just tying an overhand knot, just like that. And then on this end, I'm making a lark's foot. So it looks like that, right? So that'll go around an object and it'll tighten up, just like that. So here, because there's no grommets on the tarp, I'm making external grommets. So I'm taking a small handful of sand, putting it on the top of the tarp, and then I'm coming underneath, getting that sand into a ball. And then I place the lark's foot, or the lark's head, over the ball. Place the cord that I made, the tie out, into my tent stake, and then stake it down accordingly. So in our case, it'll be about right there. Something like that. That now gives me a shelter for the night. If I want to improve the bottom area right here and not have wind coming under it, and just throw dirt over it, this will do 2 things. It'll keep wind from coming in, which will make me cold, and it'll also keep insects and things like that from crawling in from the sides. And it keeps airflow to a minimum inside, and no creepy crawlies. I'm just going to remove any leftover debris that's left in here. But you can see that this gives me plenty of coverage, and I didn't even extend this plastic out to its full length. I had done it in half. There's not any rain in the forecast, so I don't need like massive amount of protection. And this is a perfect summertime shelter. Okay, now it's the moment of truth. I want to give this water a try. Now, one of the reasons why I like the zebra pot so much is because it comes with this little inner pot, this little pan type pot. I had to let this stuff sit for quite a while because the water was hot. So I got that nice and clean. Don't really have a viable way of pouring it through this. So what I'm going to try, because I want to get the debris out of the water, that's why I want to do this. So I'm just gonna set this up here for just a second. I'm gonna just drape my bandana right over the pot, just like this, all the way around the bottom. And I'm hoping that any debris or anything that might have been in the water will get caught here. Okay, we'll stop there for a second because I really need to hydrate up. Still warm. It doesn't seem bad as far as temperature, taste, and odor. Not good. I can't really describe it. It's not mountain spring water, I'll tell you that much. But I need to stay hydrated. Yeah, that's going to take some getting used to, definitely. Kind of nasty, to be honest with you. So tomorrow there might be a water filter in the works. I think I'll need that. But for tonight, this is what I'm going to deal with. I need to hydrate because I did a lot of things today. Went for a little recon, went for a hike, went and looked at another water source not far from here, and I saw something that kind of disturbed me. There was a dead animal in the water source. And at first I thought it was a jackrabbit, but it ended up not being a jackrabbit. I don't think. It was a white colored animal, maybe a dog or a cat or something. I don't know. It's kind of nasty. That just goes to show you the importance of purifying your water. Well, it's campfire confession time. Folks, I got in the emergency bag. I wanted a second headlamp. So I got out my Perrin. Got my Perrin out. I wanted to have my H1R used as a filming kind of light for that last shot. I had it in a tree back there. You can see my shelter off in the distance, hopefully. But I had that in a tree. There's my setup over there. But I wanted to have a secondary headlamp, so I took the Perrin out. So I'm just letting you guys know this campfire is beautiful. I'm loving life. You know, getting back to the water, I kind of made it sound probably worse than it was. It really wasn't that bad. It was not good. It was kind of nasty, but I've had worse. And when it comes to things like that, once the water's purified, it really comes down to just getting it down the hatch. You know, you've purified the water, you know that it's safe, you boiled it, just get it down the hatch. And that's what I did. So I feel great, I'm fully hydrated. The water wasn't great, but again, it could have been a lot worse. At least I have water to hydrate with. So I'm gonna relax. I got my coat on not because it's cold. The temperatures are actually really, really nice right now. But I put my coat on because I'm getting ready to go lay down. I'm gonna use my chamois as like kind of a blanket. I'm gonna put my bandana around my neck. I got my hat on, again, not because it's cold, but because I'm gonna lay down and I don't want sand in my ears. I don't want, you know, bugs or something trying to crawl in my ears and things like that. So that's why I have my hat on, bandana around the neck, chamois maybe over me or something like that. So I'm gonna get off to bed and we'll see you guys in the morning. Day 1 is in the books. Good morning. It's day number 2. Slept pretty good. I got a little chilly. Nothing too bad though. So as you can see, I got my sleeping pad and my bedroll. I used that last night and stayed nice and toasty after I got those out. I need to make a better pillow for tonight. I used the dry bag with water in it as a pillow with my chamois, and it leaked all night. Not like a big leak, but just a tiny bit. So I woke up with my back being a little bit wet. But nothing too crazy. Good night. Temperatures are good right now. I feel good. I'm happy, in a good mood. Gotta pee though. Gotta pee like really bad. Checking my shoes, making sure that there's no crawlies in there. Sometimes here in the Southwest you get scorpions. So I'm just making sure that my shoes are good. They're small. The bark scorpions are real small here. About the size of a quarter. So today, I want to go check the fire and see if I can get that going. Hopefully there's some coals. And if not, I got to get a fire going again. But I think I'm kind of hoping and thinking that there will still be some salvageable coals in there. So hopefully I'll get lucky there. So we'll check that, and then after that we'll see what comes next. In today I'm probably going to cook and eat, and definitely more hydration. So that's what's on the plan for day 2 as of right now. I feel heat. Oh yeah, the fire's banked, so that's good. There's nice hot coals under there. So really all I got to do is bring them out and they will do their own thing. Oh, that's some good coals. Yeah, got lucky. So this fire is not going to require much. That's a blessing right there. I'm happy about that. Morning flames. Nice. Yeah, that's good. Good start to the day right there. Time to put my beans on. I'm just going to let them sit there for a little while. Do their thing. Cook nice and slow while I'm on to other projects. look at my Bushcraft chair. Took me a little time to make it, but it's nice because now I can get up off the ground. I'm tired of sitting on the ground, tired of sitting in the sand. This wasn't very hard to put together. It just took a little bit of time, a little bit of work, and some cordage. But now, it sure makes camp a lot more comfortable. Very nice. I'm glad I did this. I'm really happy about it. Well, I got a little bit of a dilemma here. While I was making my Bushcraft chair, my beans were cooking. And the beans ran out of water. And I thought they were going to be fine. I normally turn them or stir them every 15 minutes or something, but they got burnt on the bottom. So I say the word dilemma because I don't want to waste food when I'm out here in a survival type scenario. So I'm going to scrape off the edible tops, and that's what I'm going to have. The whole batch isn't bad, it's just the bottom layer. It's actually not as bad as I thought it was. There's just a few of them that are burnt. Now they're not finished cooking, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour off these good ones. I'm going to go clean my pot in the sand, and then I'll transfer these beans back, and then I'll finish cooking them. And I'll definitely pay attention. But yeah, there's some that are bad, and it wasn't my fault because I was busy doing something positive. You know, I was making this chair, which this chair is already kind of made me really happy already, because I'm sitting here off the ground. It's a very nice addition to the camp. Very positive one. So that's how much I lost. Not that much. That's more like it. So once it reaches a boil, the water's purified, and so are the beans. So now we just let this cook until it's the thickness that we want, and the beans are done. It's actually smelling really good, smelling delicious. Well, my beans are officially done. I took them off the heat about an hour ago, actually. I didn't want to eat them hot. So, as I was letting them cool, I laid down, just relaxed. It felt good. So now I'm going to enjoy some of these beans. Very good. It totally gets rid of the taste that's in the water. I think this is going to be a good way to hydrate. Disguise that water taste with beans. I was out earlier cutting some more material because I have another project that I want to make. While I was out, I found a bottle, so I'll be bringing that bottle back soon. Boy, these are delicious. Who would have thought that some beans would have tasted so good? But they do. So I've found out that just trying to stay hydrated out here with a small pot is a pretty good task, because you're trying to cook, you're trying to hydrate, you're letting it cool. So this pot's been busy. It's definitely proven itself to be a very, very valuable part of my kit, and it was a good item to bring. It just proves why a container is one of the 5 C's. I think I needed this little bit of nutrients, this little bit of energy boost. But that's definitely how to get the water down. No doubt about it. I don't think the rice would have had the same effect. But I'm still thinking about getting some sort of filter going. I've taken some coals out of the fire pit, drug them back so they could cool. I'm just waiting for a container to get available or to find something. I think I'll use this as my water bottle. But with that glass bottle, that opens up new possibilities. I might be able to turn this into a charcoal filter, just to remove odor and taste out of the water. Although I'll admit, I'm a little reluctant to use this container for that purpose, because it's a nice wide mouth container. I would rather use the other container that the cranberry juice is in to make the filter. But once this is empty, I can dump all the cranberry juice that this will hold, drink the rest of that, and then get that container available and use that glass bottle for my water bottle. That's where it's at. I feel so much better after eating those beans. I was feeling fine before, but I was kind of lazy. But after eating those beans, I'm like really motivated to do something, to get on to the next task, the next thing. So wow, it's crazy how food does that. It's weird. I definitely want to make a water filter. I know I keep saying that, but I need to hydrate to do that. I need to deplete this resource and able to make the next one more of a luxury. I want that water to taste good and smell good. That'll motivate me. It'll get me more I guess desire to stay hydrated, because drinking the water is kind of a process. It's like, man, I need to get this down. I'm not having any problems with that, but I think it would be easier if I had a container to put the water in, let it cool, you know, have a filter. I think that'd be cool. So that's what I'm thinking about right now. So I'm going to offload some of this cranberry into this Gatorade bottle here. And that'll give me a good indicator as to how much cranberry juice I'm going to need to drink. This Gatorade bottle holds 32 ounces. And again, finding that glass bottle, I'm going to go get it here in a minute. That's a pretty good thing. Guess it's about like that. So probably have about 16 ounces in here left. I don't see why I couldn't drink that by supper, by dinner time. I haven't even opened the rice yet, and it's already day 2, mid day 2. Yeah, that ain't too bad. I'm excited about this because we're going to have a water filter soon. It's very promising. So I got this bottle, but there's a little discoloration still inside the glass. So trying to get that out. I don't think it's anything harmful or anything like that. I just thought I'd try to get it out. Get this thing as clean as I can. Nice bottle. Federal law prohibits, or excuse me, federal law forbids sale or reuse of this bottle. Dang it. I can't use it. Just kidding. So when I get back to camp, I'm going to boil this water and I'm going to pour it right back in this bottle to sanitize this bottle before I use it. So what's a bottle without a lid? It leaks a little. But still quite effective for what I need. And that's to keep bugs and things out of my water. Turned out pretty good. Things are starting to look good. Things are shaping up. I like the way that turned out. In the time-lapse video that I filmed making this, you see a lot of cuts where I'm coming towards my thumb and it looks dangerous, but I'm doing very small movements like this in that video, so they look a lot more dangerous than they are. Now I would never say come towards your thumb, but in an extremely controlled cut like that, you know, it's okay. Because I was doing it with extreme caution. And now I have a lid that's functional. and I'm happy. Something as simple as this little water bottle makes a big deal in a survival scenario. Life is good. Well, folks, day number 2 is officially in the books. Today was a very productive day. I got a lot of stuff done. One of the biggest things I think that I accomplished today was the creation of the water filter. I didn't show a lot of that on camera, but I went down to the river. I got some sand. I had some hardwood charcoal that I had set aside, and I packed that thing about 3/4 full of charcoal because I wanted to really take the odor and taste out of the water. That water filter has made the water night and day difference. It's really doing a good job. So it makes hydration a lot better. And that in itself has boosted my morale. It's boosted my mood. I feel a lot better because yesterday hydration was kind of a chore because I felt like I had to just get the water down after boiling it. Again, today it's a whole different situation. I spent a lot of time today boiling water. A 1-liter pot, it takes a lot to boil the water, and effort, that I don't really show on camera all the time. It's a lot to stay hydrated with such a small pan, especially when temperatures have risen today compared to yesterday. I knew that was going to happen. It was in the forecast, and it's going to do it again tomorrow. Temperatures are going to rise throughout the week, like I said yesterday. Now, as far as projects, I got some good things accomplished today. Some camp comfort items. There was a place, I can't remember where I saw it, but I saw a picture of a Bushcraft chair and a Bushcraft table. And I thought, man, that looks cool. Next time I go out for like a multiple day overnighter, I'll attempt those. So I started with the chair. I went and cut a bunch of salt cedars and tamaracks, brought the wood back, and I built a chair. And I'm here to tell you, the chair turned out fabulous. Being able to sit up like I am right now, I'm sitting in it as we speak. I'm sitting in the chair, I'm not on the ground. it really boosts your morale. You're not sitting on the floor no more, or the ground, I should say. So it really makes you feel good about yourself. It's such a nice addition to any camp, is having a nice chair to sit on. You know, you can, when you're working during the day, you can just come take a sit and get a rest. You know, it's a good resting place. So that was a huge success today, this chair. So I thought, well, my skills of making things are really good. They're on point. Let me go ahead and knock out that table. So I went out, got a little confident, I guess. I cut a bunch more salt cedars and tamaracks and brought them back. And that's a lot of work. That's a lot of work cutting that wood. So anyway, I brought it back, and I wanted to follow this new idea. If you look at the 5-day duo survival experience that I did with Justin, we had a $20 budget, and I built a table in that series. And the table that I built today has much different legs. So instead of the legs being vertical like this, the legs are actually crossed and lashed together. So I thought that was going to be more structurally sound or something like that. So I built that design based on what I could remember in my head, and it worked out okay at best. This thing's pretty wobbly. So that means tomorrow I'm probably going to be adjusting this chair, or excuse me, this table, to get it more stable. I don't like the way it's real wobbly. So I had some other plans that I was going to work on tomorrow, but they're going to be put back in lieu of me fixing this table. I would really like to have a table to complement my chair so that I can sit there and put my bowl there on the table and eat my food and things like that. A table's a nice thing to have at a campsite. So that's what I'm going to do tomorrow. I'll probably shore this thing up and see what I can do. Now, the fire right now, I've got some hardwood salt cedars in there and tamarack. And the idea is I'm going to bank the fire naturally like I did yesterday. I'm hoping that it works again. It worked phenomenal. This morning I woke up, I had coals banked, and it worked out good. And the way I did that yesterday was burning a hardwood, making some coals, and then putting softwood on top to create an ash to bury those hardwood coals. So I've got the hard on there right now. I'm hoping that it'll work again just as well as it did this morning, because I don't really feel like cranking out a friction fire again or using my lightning strike, excuse me. So hopefully that will work. Now, I still have all the rice. I haven't even opened it yet. And I still have all the ramen. I haven't even opened it yet. I have half of a bag of beans left. I had one portion of beans. I have a second portion sitting in water, just waiting so that they can soak. They say that helps reduce the amount of gas that you get from beans. So they're soaking. I'm probably going to cook them tomorrow. The rice, I'm going to have a serving of rice tonight. And I'm not going to bore you guys with showing you cooking rice and eating it and stuff like that. I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to do that off camera. But my idea is to get some rice in my body, get my stomach nice and full right before bedtime so that I can stay warm during the night. Not that I need to. It's not winter. We're looking at 40s in the low tonight again. Little higher than it was yesterday, so high 40s I'm guessing. So that's the idea for the food. And I haven't been hungry. I just haven't been hungry. I've been active all day. I just haven't touched the food with the exception of the beans. And the beans they tasted really good. So that's the idea for tomorrow, and that's kind of a wrap up of today. I miss Bella and the girls. I wish they were here. I wish Justin was here. He was going to come. Him and I did an overnighter the other day, and he was going to come, but his dad has his birthday coming up, so he wants to be there for that, and he's got a few other things going on. So Justin, if you're watching, hope you're doing well, man. Wish you were out here. So yeah, that's about all I got for today. in this closing, it was a beautiful day. I look forward to day 3. Tomorrow we'll be halfway through the challenge. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I hope you guys are doing well. Have a beautiful night. We'll see you. Good morning, everybody. Day 3. Wow, I slept so good last night. As you can see, my pillow was my camera bag, my camera gear bag. Temperatures last night were comfortable. I felt good. I listened to the sound of the birds last night as I fell asleep. And then this morning, I'm hearing the sounds of the birds again. That's such a neat thing to go to sleep to and wake up to. I stayed warm last night, not just because I had the hat on. The main reason I have the hat on is to keep things from crawling in my ears. I don't want bugs or something trying to go in my ears. Probably something that would never happen, but it's just like a phobia or something that I got. I don't want nothing crawling in my ears. I was really comfortable last night. I feel like I got some good quality sleep. I didn't get cold. I stayed pretty much in the same position. The sleeping pad is comfortable. My first order of business is I gotta get up and pee. Make sure that my shoes are clear. Gotta pee, and then after that I want to check my fire, see if I banked it well. Nothing in my shoes. Gosh, yeah, the shelter is working good. Probably don't even need it, to be honest, but what it does help with, that I've noticed, is when the wind bursts come, the shelter keeps me out of the wind. These little bursts come, and because I use the sand to keep the thing nailed down, I guess you could say, again, that keeps creepy crawlies from coming up underneath the sides, and it also stops all the wind, so it works really good at keeping me in here. But yes, to day 3. Day 3. Crazy. It's going to be a good day. I got some good things on the agenda today. Definitely want to try to shore up that table and see how that goes. But let's go check that fire. Let's see if the fire's banked. Oh yeah, there's coals. Definitely banked. Yeah, that thing did good. I can feel the heat coming up off of it, so that answers my question right there. Yep, good hot coals. So there's life in that fire. You can see an orange one glowing right there. Take my hat. I'm gonna do some air to it. See those coals coming to life? Yeah, that fire is good to go. Just put something on it. That's a good technique to know, because we're still on the same fire from the coal that we got on day 1 from friction fire. So that's a good feeling. I'm really enjoying this trip. So there we're taking a look at the water filter. I've got it loaded with water. You can see that the elements inside the water filter is about half sand and the other half is charcoal. The flow rate on this, as you can see, is very slow. And that's what I want. That shows me that the filter is doing its job. The water that comes out of this filter is night and day different compared to the water that I put in it. The process that I use for this water filter is after this pan gets full of water, I take it and put the pan over the fire to purify the water. Then, at that point, if any ash or sand or anything got in the water while it was purifying, I'll pour that finished water through a bandana into my container that I'm going to drink the water out of. But most of the time, I try to keep aware of how much sand I'm walking in, and if I'm not throwing sand up, and definitely when I put the pot on the fire, I try to make sure that I'm not stirring up a bunch of soot, so I don't have to run it through a bandana afterwards. But the water tastes really good. I'm proud of how this filter is working. It makes me feel really good. PWPAM solar panel. You can see there's a wire. It's a long USB wire. Oh, wait. Yeah, this plugs into my camera. Yes, folks. The order of business right now, charge my camera. Thank goodness for the sun, and thank goodness for this beautiful solar panel. If you haven't seen my review on that solar panel, please check the description box or search my channel, PWPAM. That thing is bad to the bone. I threw water on it. It's just a solid panel. So that's what I'm doing right now, just charging batteries. Got an update for you. I'm filtering more water here, and I noticed that this water filter needs to be topped off again. So look at that cottonwood coming out. So straight out of the bag, I just pour it very carefully into the filter to keep the flow going, to keep the drip going. If you get a drip or two in the pot down there, don't worry too much about that, because I'm going to boil that water anyway. Don't have to worry about cross-contamination. You can see I got the table in the back. I'm getting ready to try to shore that up a little bit. Had a little bit of a dilemma today that might offset the plans for today. My backup battery bank that I have to keep all these cameras charged died last night. So today I'm running on solar, trying to charge batteries up. So my plans might change a little bit. Today might change into the plan of being stay hydrated today, get fed, and relax and charge batteries. So that might be my plan today as of right now. Right here I have a bottle of water that I filtered last night. I boiled last night. I put it in this container last night, and it's had all night to cool. You can see that that water is crystal clear. Filter is doing a good job. So I'm going to go ahead and, if I can get this cork off. The cork gets tight because I used cottonwood, which is a soft wood, and it swells. Once I put it in, the water gets in it and it swells up. Makes a nice tight fit, but it can be hard to get out. Let's give this water a shot and see how it tastes. Man, I could drink that every day, all day, no problem. I don't taste nothing. It's good water. This is 1 pint, so it's roughly 16 ounces. I would need to drink 6 of these, I think, in a day to get my hydration in. Man, that water tastes good. That's a lot different than what I was saying on day 1. These filters, it just proves how effective they are to be sitting here drinking water like that. It's crazy. So once this pot gets full, that's 1 liter. That'll fill this up twice. I'll boil that water and I'll put my bandana over the tip here and I'll pour the water in and fill it up. And then I'll let it cool. And probably have some good hydration midday. I'll drink the other half probably warm. So that'll keep my filter. My filter is going to be working full time today, and so is my pot. Keeping hydration going. But that's what I'm doing. You see all this little cottonwood, these little seeds floating in the air. That's pretty cool. These things here, these make really good flash tinder. They have a small seed on them, and believe it or not, they're edible. I wouldn't eat that big old chunk, but I eat the small ones. They're quite edible. You get like a little crunch out of the seed. So for me out here, it's been kind of a game. I try to catch them in the sky and pop them in my mouth as I can. Okay, so I'm in the process of shoring this table up. I put this cross piece right here. It seems to have helped a lot with the side-to-side wobble. I'm looking at the legs here and I'm seeing different lengths. So what I did was I sat down in my chair and I got an idea of how high I would want my table to be. I took this stick and I've established that if I cut the legs off to that length right there, that's going to give me that height I'm looking for. So I'm using this stick as a marker to measure where I'm going to cut these off at. Then I'm going to cut them. And my table should be, at that point, should be good to go. Putting that cross member in did a big difference. I mean, it really helped. Got another bottle of water cooling. But I've been on the hydration and I've been on charging batteries, and it's been interesting today. I did not expect my battery bank to die on me. Normally that thing lasts a good long time. So let's see here. It's kind of funny because that solar panel does such a good job that between my takes of video, I'm charging my phone Oh yeah, look at that. That is much, much better. Now I know it looks crude. I'm not here to win a cool contest. I'm here to win a functional one. That's a lot better. It's a lot more stable side to side this way and towards you and me. I think I'll put one more cross member in, and I think that's it. The height is perfect. I can put my pot here, whatever I've got going on. I can set my stuff on there, not have to worry about it wobbling off like it was before. Yeah, it's definitely coming out. It's taken me a while to decide what I needed to do. It's just kind of one of those trial and error kind of things. You got to figure out what it needs. Oh yeah, that thing is definitely stable enough to use. I'll probably take my saw and I'll probably cut off some of these funny looking ends. I just picked up some water from this body of water. 10 more liters. Chose this body of water because it looks cleaner and smells cleaner than the body of water that I've been using. So my hope is that the water will be even better through the filter. So not to say that there's anything wrong with it now, because the filter's done a remarkable job, but I want to take good and make it better. Now I need to get back to those trees, get back to my camp, and see what's going on, because I've been out doing recon today, looking around and just checking out the area. It's really cool. Just these are heavy. Back to civilization. Such a good feeling to be back and to have more water. I'm happy about that. That was a pretty good little hike I went on. I was gone a while. Man, looks like I need to get back to filtering. Now that I'm back, I have maybe a half a pot of water. I still have my water bottle and it's full, but I'm gonna get this filtering going on, get this water back where it needs to be. This is definitely, without a doubt, the hardest part about being out here, is staying up on this water thing. Water is so heavy sometimes, but it's what keeps us alive. There we go. Back to it. Back to making water. You can see the discoloration of the water here. It's pretty nasty. And then obviously you can see what it looks like coming into the pot. It's very clean. I have my other part of the pot, so when this gets full, I can put that one there and get this one boiling. Yep, big old frog. Yeah, that looks absolutely delicious. So take a look at that. I've got my rice and beans, I've got my cranberry juice and water, filtered water that's been purified. Oh, this is gonna be so amazing. This is what it's all about. Ooh, don't spill my water. I've been working so hard to get that water. It spent hours of the day purifying water, and then more hours letting it cool. I almost broke and got into the emergency stuff to get my bigger pot, but I thought, man, let me keep trying with this 1 liter pot. Hopefully I can get through it, and I did. I was able to manage. But with the temperatures being hot outside, trying to boil water and then get the water to cool has been ridiculous. Also, pouring from this bowl into this bottle has been ridiculous. It's been crazy, but man. It feels so good to drink clean water. Look at that food right there. Look at that. See all that cotton up in that tree? Boy, that's crazy. It's just ready to fall. Now you see why they call them cottonwoods. That's crazy. Pretty cool. Day 3 is in the books. It's officially over. Man, what a good day it was. I spent a lot of energy today. A lot more than probably what showed on film. Did a lot of hiking, got tired, drank a lot of water. You know, I spent so much time just keeping water going. You know, I said that a couple times, I think. The food tonight was amazing. The campfire was good. You know, just it was such an amazing day. I got to hear all the wonderful sounds of crickets, sounds of birds singing all day, different songs, you know, different kinds of birds. I heard frogs just in tune. You know, it's about almost 11 o'clock tonight, you know, right now. And the stars are out. The moon is a crescent moon. The stars are really pretty. They're everywhere. Such an amazing place to be. I really miss Bella and the girls. I wish they could be out here. You know, gosh, it's crazy. It's just been a wonderful day. I couldn't ask for more. There's no place in the world that I'd rather be than out here right now. You know, just getting out like this, doing things like this, it's really what I enjoy. It's like I've said many, many times in many, many videos, it's like my therapy. This is where I go. This is what I do to reset my batteries, you know, to refresh myself. And if you don't have an outlet to do that, you know, life is hard. Life is hard. You're working, you're doing all your stuff, your rat race, trying to make your house payment, car payment. Life ain't easy. So you need things like this to help you stay the course of what you're trying to do in your world, in your life, with your kids, with your family. This is not just a fun thing that I do, that I enjoy. It's not just something that helps as a source of income for me. It's a reset button for me to be who I am. You know, and people say all the time, you only live once. And I say all the time, I disagree. You only die once, folks. You live every single day of your life. So get out and live. See what you're made of. Do something good for someone. And with all that, folks, I want to say good night. I love you all. I'm so comfortable. I'm so warm. Temperatures are good. I'll see you in the morning. Sweet dreams, everyone. Bye for now. Good morning. Day number 4. Last night I slept very good. I think that was the best sleep I've had since I've been out here. I was out. Didn't toss, didn't turn. Oh man, I slept like a baby. Had like really vivid dreams. Really cool dreams. Man, what a cool night it was. Slept good. Had to been because I ate and I felt good. I was hydrated up. Took care of myself yesterday. Temperatures are good right now. Supposed to get hotter today. So the key today is hydration. Stay hydrated. Charge more batteries. This bed was really comfortable. Feels so good to be out here. Gonna check my fire again, just like I did yesterday. I'm thirsty. Let's start off day 4 with water. Hydration, like I said. Man, I like this area, this spot. I'm looking on the ground and I see all the little bits and pieces of cotton from the cottonwood trees. That stuff. It's pretty crazy. Today's a brand new day. I don't know what I'm gonna do today. Honestly, I think I'm gonna kind of chill a little bit. Relax. I'm thinking about finding out exactly what my bearings are out here as far as north, south, east, west. I don't have a compass with me, so I might do that. I wanted to build like a larger shelter, but the type of shelter that I wanted to make requires a lot of work. So I don't know if I'm gonna do that today. It's already day 4. I'm going home tomorrow. I don't know if I'm gonna do that, and then just leave tomorrow. So I just don't see the purpose in putting all that work in. But I might make another chair for Miss Bella and take it home and give it to her as a gift. I thought the chair turned out really good, and I found across the way yesterday when I was out exploring, I found some really nice, probably 2-inch thick salt cedars and tamaracks. That'd be perfect for a nice heavy duty outdoor chair for the house. And I thought, man, if I do that, if I make something like that, I might use that nice thick wood and make it really nice, make it really heavy duty. Something that when you sit down on it, you don't have to worry about it flexing, or, it's just like gonna be really solid. So I might do that. I'm not sure. And I might change the way the 2 pieces in the back go. So, because right now the 2 pieces in the back, you have this gap right here. If I put them like that instead of like that, your back will fit straight against the pieces if they're like this. You see what I'm saying? This surface right here. They're the same, so your back will fit nice and flush against it. But right now it's like this, so your back is sitting on this piece and not so much on this piece, which is okay. But that was an idea that kind of came to mind. I was thinking about if I could figure out a way to lash those together using that type of method, I think it's doable. And using thicker pieces, you know, I can get away with different kind of cuts and stuff with my sauce. So that might be on the agenda today. I'm not sure. But I'm going to get up. I'm going to go check the fire, see if it's still banked. I don't know. I didn't really put a lot of effort into it yesterday. I just kind of, after eating, I was like food comatose. And I wanted to lay down. Got up in the middle of the night, went pee, not to the bathroom. I peed. And I peed a lot. It seemed like I was peeing forever. So I'm definitely hydrated. I'm going to try to keep that going on. One thing I noticed yesterday is I drank so much water. I had realized at one point that I wasn't hydrated enough because I realized I wasn't peeing. And I got to thinking, man, this ain't cutting it. I need to drink more water. I need to drink to the point where I have to pee. So I must have drank 7 or 8 of these yesterday, just trying to get those fluids in. So your body's like a sponge, and I was like a dry sponge, for the lack of a better description. But again, you know, after drinking all that water, my body absorbed it. I started peeing. I think I peed like 3 or 4 times. And my urine became clear, so it wasn't yellow. So that was a good sign. Told me that I was hydrated. Now, you can't always use that color thing as your method to find out if you're hydrated or not, because if you're taking medication or something like that, it's going to alter the color of your urine. Main thing I would recommend looking at is your pee count. Make sure you're producing. So if you're not producing, which I wasn't, you need to get hydrated. So check my shoes one more time, make sure they're good. There's nothing crawling up in there. And normal routine here in the morning, get up, pee, check the fire, and then get on with my day. There's a little bug or something in there. Get out of there, bud. He's like hanging on for dear life. Okay, he's out. Not as hot as normal, but there are coals. There's a couple. Yeah, it's got some life in it. Not a lot, but it does have some life. I've noticed that cottonwood makes it so easy to bank your fire. Let's put that piece right there on those coals. Let that bad boy start to warm up those pieces. Put some air to it. I just want it to start smoking a little bit. So that's really all I need for now. That's all I had in there. So that's all I had. But that's just enough.
So I'm gonna get this going.
I'm getting ready to make a project happen. What I want to do is I want to find my bearings, north, south, east, west, basic navigational bearings. Now I know that the sun coming up from that direction, I know that that's an eastwardly direction. And I also know that behind me is a westwardly direction based on being here. Sun comes up on that side, goes down on that side. But what I want to do is I want to make it even more precise. I want to figure out exactly, according to the sun, where north, south, east, and west are. So I think I'm going to take you along with me in a time warp type fashion and show you exactly what is needed to do to find out those bearings. So hang on, it's going to be a lot of fun. Here we go. Okay, so let me explain what's going on here. If I remove these sticks, which give me my bearing for just a second, you'll notice at the beginning of this time warp that the first shadow was here and the last shadow was here. If I didn't put all these other sticks in and I just had 1 and 2, just first and last, that gives me a westward and eastward bearing. Remember, in the northern hemisphere, the first shadow is always cast to the west and the last shadow is always cast to the east. So with that, I know that this is west right here, okay? And I also know that this is east. So I have half of the problem figured out. Next thing I need to figure out is where is north and where is south. Now I naturally kind of pointed this way because north to the right of north is east, okay? As I look at the compass, right? So if I place this at a 90-degree angle with this other stick, that tells me that right here is north, and back here is south. Okay? So that is the shadow stick method of finding out your bearings if you ever need to. It doesn't take sticks or anything. You could use rocks, you could use pennies, you could use leaves, whatever you have that you can stick in the ground that will stay there. It doesn't have to be sticks in the ground like this. I just did this for the video. And you don't have to do a bunch of them. You can just do 2. Do 1, wait 30 minutes, go do another. That gives you a line, down and dirty. But I did this with 5 of these at about 10 to 15 minute intervals between each one to show you what's going on with the sun. Don't need any of this anymore. I've established my bearing. My camera keeps cutting out and it gave me a message, camera too hot. I don't blame it, but that's the shadow stick method. The temperatures today are in the high 90s here in Arizona, so even my camera does not want to work in these hot temperatures. It's high 90s right now. The camera's been sitting out in the sun. It's a black camera. I'm going to get it to the shade, cool off, charge the battery a little bit, and then I'll show you that other method. Well, it is time for lunch. I've got my cranberry juice, I've got my water, and earlier I cooked some rice, beans, and ramen. And I built this. It's not a crucifix, it's a trivet so that I can set my pot on the table without getting my shema dirty. If the pot's straight off of the fire, it's got black soot and stuff on the bottom, and I didn't want to get that dirty. But look at that. Rice, beans, and ramen. Ooh, that looks delicious. I'm gonna eat good today. You know that there beef bouillon pack that comes with the ramen makes the whole thing taste good. And I noticed something that I wanted to read to you guys. Top ramen. This is the kind I'm using. It says the original top ramen. Momofuku Ando. Okay, Momofuku Ando invented instant ramen in 1958 when he created chicken ramen in Japan. He went on to create the original top ramen for the United States in 1970. So I thought that was kind of a neat little interesting fact there. So I'm supposed to get out of this serving, just the ramen itself, 380 calories. Plus I have about 1/4 cup of rice and 1/4 cup of beans. Being out here gives you a lot of time to think about so many things. I have always been, since I was a little boy, fascinated with Egypt, the Giza Plateau, the pyramids, and all these things, right? So a couple days ago, before I came out on this overnighter, this 5-day, I was watching a documentary on King Tut. I forget how you say his name, Tutankhamun. He was the pharaoh, right? He became pharaoh at 9 years of age. And he died when he was 19. And then I got to thinking, like, these funny thoughts were popping into my head, like, hey bro, you know, I'm pharaoh now. I want you guys to build me a pyramid, use these big rocks. I don't care if it kills your backs. Just make them that tall and don't stop working until the project's done. You know, I doubt that's how it went down, but it's still funny to think about it. But the reason I bring up Tutankhamun, King Tut, when they found his mummy right here on his chest, he had a knife, right? The knife had gold and it had inscriptions in it. It was a cool looking knife. It had an iron blade. From what researchers say, if I'm reading this correctly, is they said that the time frame in which King Tut lived was before the Iron Age, which would just go to show why he would have that in his coffin, in his sarcophagus when he died, right? So they wanted to analyze, how did he get iron? Where was the iron from? Because this guy, you know, dying and having a knife with an iron blade was unheard of. So he had to have been somebody of high stature, which he was. He was a pharaoh. So they did some analysis years later, forensics type analysis on the blade, and the researcher that found that was blown away. The other guy asked him, he's like, hey, where did this, what are you flipping out about? And the guy said, this thing has high levels of whatever. I can't remember what he said it was. And the other guy tells him, well, where's that come from? They're trying to pinpoint where the iron came from. And the guy that did all the research told the other fella, he's like, that does not come from this planet. What? He says, that iron, that whatever that chemical or whatever that they found in the iron, that comes from meteorites. It had to have been a celestial type. I don't know, it's just crazy. And it makes you think, how were the pyramids built? How did they really do that? Where did they get those rocks? Crazy. It's just crazy. I would love to go to Egypt and just check it out and see what's... They got a museum over there, and I'm so intrigued by that stuff. It just blows me away. And then you have all the tomb raiders over there trying to get into the sarcophagus to steal everything. Hope you enjoyed that little bit of story. If you guys know any really cool Egyptian documentaries or videos or anything like that, post them in the comments, because I love watching that stuff. Another one that I love watching is Otzi the Iceman. That one's amazing too. The stuff that he had. When they found his body, he had his arm like this. He was laying face down. He had a knife. He had cordage. He had a container. He had animal skins, which could have been a tarp. And he had a way of making fire. He had the 5 C's. Crazy. Look at me. I'm out here doing my 5-day thing on a $5 budget with the 5 C's. It just blows me away. Blows me away. This camera battery is charging, and I need to have enough juice in it to shoot more vid. That ramen is delicious. Rice and beans and ramen. Couldn't ask for a better meal out here. Dang. That's where it's at right there. Yeah, life is good. Right away, right after you eat, this is the best time, whether it's out here or at home. Best time to clean your pot is right after you eat. If you let that bad boy sit, everything's gonna harden and get crusty, and it's gonna be a pain in the rear. So get you a little bit of water. Just use your fingers. Get the sides of the pot clean. Doesn't take too much effort. And or you can leave it alone and just put your food in it for the next meal. And you got this stuff left over. Either way, whatever you choose to do, but this is what I do. It works pretty good, and it's pretty simple. The key is, like I said, get it done right after you eat. Don't wait. Then you have a nice little broth. And drink the broth. Wipe your mouth, wipe your pot. And you're good to go. Ready for the next one. Don't look at me funny. Life is good. This next method is much simpler. But you still need a north, south, east, west stick. You still need a hammer, and you still need a stick. But if you look at my stick and you see the shadow all the way back over there, I want to bring my stick till the shadow is gone. Okay, so you see that? I want to bring it to the point where the shadow is gone and insert it in. So that's the perfect starting position for this next method. Now you want to make sure that nothing's going to come along and mess with this stick. So you see right there how there's no shadow at all around that stick. Everything is gone. That's why they call this the shadowless stick method. You can watch the shadow grow. So once you get your stakes down, just like we had before, you can find east, west, north, and south. Now let's not forget that north is here. East is here. South, unless you want to be Superman, and west. So there's your general bearings. Using the shadowless stick technique. Remember, it never changes that in the northern hemisphere, the first shadow always casts to the west, and the last shadow always to the east. So this was the first shadow being west. This is the last shadow being east, west, north, south. Well, I'm glad that temperatures have finally cooled down and that we have some cloud coverage. It was hot today. I would say it was probably 96, 97 today. So it's a welcome change to see these clouds overhead and the temperature starting to drop. So I got some motivation now to go cut some wood in an effort to make Miss Bella a heavy-duty camping chair. I'm going to surprise it with her. Well, that's what I have accomplished for tonight. I'm not finished, but I'm running out of daylight. I'll finish this thing in the morning. It is turning out nice. I like it. Very heavy duty. I made some added features here on the back that I didn't do on the other one. I put a couple pieces as a temporary on there because I wanted to see what the back felt like. How far back did your back feel? And this feels really good. It was too far forward at first, and then it was too far back. And man, that was a lot of cutting. There was a lot of work that went into this. The good news is all the hard work is done. Tomorrow, all I do is cut little pieces for the bench part to sit on, and shore the rest of this thing up. Now, honestly, if I would have had paracord with me, I would have been using that instead. But I'm using the number 18 bank line, I think it is. And I think it's going to be just fine. I'm going to take it home. I'm going to put it on the back patio. I'm not going to say a word. Miss Bella's going to ask about it. The girls are probably going to ask about it. And when they do, I'll tell them that it's for my love for Miss Bella. So today, gosh, oh, what a beautiful day. It was a good day. I stayed hydrated. Day 4 was a hot day. Tomorrow's going to be day 5. Tomorrow's going to be break my camp, get out of here. It's going to be hotter tomorrow. There's a chance that I might jump in the water tomorrow. Not this water, it's dirty, nasty water, but take a drive and go jump in some water. I might do that, might not. I'm not sure yet. We'll see how I sleep, how I feel. The temperatures right now are phenomenal. It is definitely t-shirt weather. Probably still in the 80s right now. It's warm, but it's definitely a lot colder than it was during the hot part of the day. So with all that being said, I like the way this is going. Couple little things left to do tomorrow, and then we'll be done. And I think Miss Bella's gonna like it. I really do. So with all that being said, folks, day 4 once again is in the books. We'll see you guys tomorrow. I love you all. Good night. Bye-bye. Good morning. Zipper's getting hung up here. It's day 5. Oh, last night the temperatures were amazing. It was like 10 degrees warmer than it was the night before. That's probably the best slept. That's probably the best sleep that I've had the whole time I've been out here. Amazing. I could go back to sleep right now. It felt so good. I stayed up late last night working on that chair for Miss Bella. Got it finished. I'm happy about that. It's supposed to be a scorcher today. It's supposed to be pretty hot. So I'm going to get up and take a look, as usual, at the fire pit and see if it's banked or not. I don't really care if it is, because today I'm getting out of here, but just out of curiosity, I want to find out if it's banked or not. I'm not going to make a fire today. I'm going to actually get water and pour water on it if it needs it. But I'm going to check that out. This Olight H1R has been fabulous. I haven't charged it. It was fully charged on day 1 when I got here, and it's been working fine every single day. I use moonlight mode most of the time, but eventually I'll bump it up to low. Once in a while I'll use turbo for something for a few minutes, but for the most part, this thing has been awesome. Awesome headlamp. Haven't even had to charge it. But yes, temperatures are fabulous. Felt so good. So I'm going to get up and get this day started. Day 5. Day 5 already. It seems like I just got here. You know, like, where did the time go? Gosh. Where did the time go? I don't think I'm going to need my knife anymore. I don't plan on doing anything with my knife, so. My Condor Pterosaur is the knife I chose for this trip. It's been a good knife. Worked good. Did everything I needed it to do. It reminds me of a Mora Garberg in a lot of ways. Doesn't throw as good as sparks though. Look at them dusty socks. Definitely gonna need to clean my clothing and take a bath. Whoops. For sure. I thought about taking like a bath yesterday, you know, going out to the water, but you're not really gonna get that clean using dirty water to clean yourself, right? Make sure there's nothing in my shoes. Like I said, get this party started. I'm curious about the fire, if it's banked. I didn't really work on it or anything to make sure that it was, because I knew that today was day 5. I was also going to show today a quicker method of figuring out the shadow stick method, so I can show you that. But let's go take a look at that fire and see how that looks. So come with me. Let's see what we got over here. So let's come around right to here. Let's see what's up with this pit. I did have some, yep, it's good to go. I already feel heat. There's already coals in there. Yep, there's a few good ones. Yep. If I needed a fire, I could definitely have one today. These chips that I put in there are hardwood chips. All the scraps and stuff that I had from building that chair. There it goes, it's starting to glow. That whole piece is good. Look at that bad boy. So the fire was banked again. So one friction fire lasted me all 5 days. That's crazy. Just goes to show how effective banking your fire is. So there's a look at Miss Bella's chair. I'll lash these guys at an angle here. Cut all 3 of the tops off. I put this piece in here so you can hang coats on it, or you can hang like the water filter. Plus it helped lash these together. I came around this thing like this, which pulled it against these 2 pieces, and then I lashed it against this piece, so it's holding that connection together really well. I did the same thing back here And I used 7 pieces here instead of 6 like I did on mine. But the chair is awesome. And compared to mine, it's a lot better. The back, you know, the back of mine, you've got this stick on top of this other stick. So when you sit on it, your back kind of wants to lean to the left a little bit. But on this one, not only is it much more solid, but it's like your back fits perfectly right there. Oh man, it's comfortable. She's gonna love it. So I'm proud of the progress that I made on this chair. It's super cool. I'm just really liking it. And that wood is heavy duty, very thick. And it's not like heavy to lift. Not too heavy, but it's definitely heavier than the other one. This one's light. But you know, I guess it's so nice to have a chair out here. It changes your whole feeling about everything. The one that I made for Miss Bella was a lot of work. It was a lot of work. The table too, same thing. Even though it's not perfect or anything like that, I doubt that I'll be joining any table competition building things anytime soon, but it also helps change your whole morale at camp because you have something to eat your food off of. You can put your stuff up there. Such a nice thing. So let's go ahead and get down to the riverbed and I'll show you, I'll show you a simpler way of using the shadow stick method where you only need 2 pegs, goodness, and your shadow stick. So we'll check that out. So here's a method of the shadow stick technique that does not require as much stuff. You got your 2 sticks for your north, south, east, and west line. You have your stick that you're going to pound in the ground for your shadow, and 2 stakes. So I pound the first stick in the ground, and let's take a look here at the shadow. See where the shadow is right there? Just like before, I'm going to come over here to the very tip of the shadow, right here, and I'm going to mark that. Now, I'll leave these tools right here. I'll wait, and I'll come back in about an hour. Doesn't have to be an hour, you could do like 30 minutes, but generally the longer time that you wait, the better. So now you can see that the shadow has moved from this point to this point. So I will put a stake in the ground there. It's been about an hour. And now I don't need my shadow stick anymore. I can leave it there because as more time goes on, the shadows will appear. I could almost predict at this point where they would be. That gives me a westward, eastward bearing. And the way it does this is always remember that the first shadow always cast to the west and the last shadow always cast to the east. So with that, I'll make a W here for west. I'll make an E for east. And now if I intersect this stick, then I know where north and south is. There's north, south. So that's what the situation looks like. It's a very, very effective measurement of finding my bearings. I had to come in back to the shade because my camera had a hot temperature shut off again. So here it is on day 5. I did pretty good on my cranberry juice, so I'm going to go ahead and enjoy this. Look at my hands. Those are working hands. Those are hands that built a couple chairs, a table, spent 5 days out here in this area in the Arizona heat. Almost triple digits. I'm going to get hydrated. Then my next move is to break camp. And then after breaking camp, I'm going to take this chair over to the vehicle, get it loaded, and then come back, pick up all my gear and get out of here. So I'm hydrating because I'm going to weigh out. I want to make sure my weight is accurate. I can feel that my hydration is off a little bit because when I peed earlier, which peeing is a good sign, right? But when I peed, the urine was really dark. So I'm going to try to drink more before I weigh out. I'm not going to drink all of this, of course, but I don't want to make it appear like I'm trying to throw off the scale or something like that, because I'm not. I'm just trying to get my body where it should be. Like, I always refer to it as a sponge. You could have a dry sponge or you could have a moist one. So I'm trying to moisten my sponge. Man, it's beautiful out here. None of these tips are hot, so that's good. Since I'm getting ready to get out of here, I don't need any more of this water. So I'm just gonna put it right in this pit. Make sure that these coals are out. There's that one. You can definitely see that there was some coals in there. Wow. Violent eruption of coals. Make sure this bad boy is out. It's pretty crazy. It's funny how bad this fire wanted to stay alive. I banked it well. Look at that. That's crazy. That's a trip. I think I'll be making another trip to the water to get more to put on here just for good measure. Okay. Here's more water from the river. Oh yeah, that bad boy's out. Let's go over all this stuff, all the tips of these pieces. Just make sure everything's out. Yep, absolutely. That looks good. There's no coals alive in there anymore. They're gone. Yep. I would say that that's a wrap. Stump this bad boy out. Don't need it. Anybody that says that that fire is not out is full of it. That's about as out as a fire can be. Boy, the camera does not like this Arizona heat. I was going to try to get a shot of me walking back to camp, and I hit the remote, and like 3 steps later, the camera died. Overheat again. So I'm going to leave the camera here, let it rest, and I'm going to take Miss Bella's chair back to the car. I'll come back for the camera when it's nice and cool. I don't want to try to carry all this in one trip. So I'll see you guys in a minute. Kind of heavy. So it's not that far to the car. It's maybe 300 to 500 yards. But doing it over and over and over for camera shots and carrying that chair and carrying the gear, it adds up. I can feel the sweat just coming off of my body. But this is what I live for. Well, goodbye, camp. It's been fun. Well, it's that time again, folks. It's time to weigh in. Man, I wish that we had cleaner water out here so that I could have taken a bath or washed my clothes or something like that, because I'm filthy. But that's to be expected sometimes when you do a challenge like this. I'm grateful for the resources that the river provided, though. You know, and just goes to show that it's not uncommon for me to want to have that container so that I can make a water filter. That's a pretty good skill, and it's really helped tremendously with the quality of the water. Made it bearable. So now the question is, what is my weight? I'm going to weigh in with the same shorts that I had in the beginning of this challenge. I'm curious because I feel like I've lost a little bit of weight. I know that every day I've been sweating. I weighed in at 188.8. 179.6. $179.6. Let's try it again. 179.6. So we're going to say 179.6. That's almost 10 pounds. Gosh, that's pretty crazy. Bill thinner. Those are the results of my weigh out. Definitely worked hard on this one. That's crazy. How does my body look? I want to say thank you for joining me today on this video. Hope you enjoyed it. This series, it was awesome. 0.279. Yeah, 9.2 pounds I lost. Wow, that's crazy. That's a lot of weight. 9.2 pounds in 5 days. Now when it comes to the food and the selections that I chose, fabulous. They were very good selections. I couldn't have been happier about the choices that I made with what I chose to bring out on this journey. I didn't expect to lose this much weight. I feel fine right now. I don't feel like tired. I don't feel any. I could use probably some cold water, you know, get hydrated back up. Last time I peed was this morning, so I know that I'm a little dry, so to speak. But with all that being said, folks, thank you again for watching this series. I hope that you appreciate it. Please feel free to leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think. Thumbs up this video and please share it. This is real work that I'm putting in out here for you guys. So thank you again for stopping by. I hope you have a beautiful day. We'll see you next time. I love these challenges. Bye for now.